Hey everyone, the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notifications down below if you haven't already. Hey folks, Kevin here, and we're back at the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom. Behind me, as usual, the beautiful wagon wheel, and hopefully still a little wisdom up here. Based on yesterday's confession, I am going to kind of expand on that a little bit and just speak on, I suppose, behalf sort of where I'm at from an emotional or mental perspective. And I'd first just like to start off by saying I really appreciate all of the support and the comments. Reading through all of those absolutely blew me away. A couple times it brought me to tears just because of how much I appreciate people stepping up and saying things that they said. One person in particular, I think goes by the name Glass Bluebird on there, wrote something that really connected and resonated with me, so I've saved that, and I'm going to keep rereading that because the experience that he or she is citing, don't know which gender on that one, actually might have said, but I'm forgetting, but that's irrelevant. But just the way that it was worded was, it matched and mirrored up so much that I'm going to keep rereading that. But I would just like to again say thank you to all of you. It's incredible, and the type of support that I hope that I'm providing for all of you as well. Like it's incredible to listen to people open up, talk about things. Don't give up. Had some people suggest maybe stop making videos. To that point, this has been very cathartic for me. I realize that it may come across as perhaps being obsessive, but to be able to get it out in this way, to me, feels like journaling. And I've sat in meditation a few different times, and of course asked my guides to give me an answer, and it keeps coming back, yes, you need to keep moving forward with this. So I believe it's part of my service contract that for helping out the community. But again, thank you to all of you, hands down. I love you guys. It's been great. So I just wanted to talk about a couple realizations I've come to, and seeing it now from a much different perspective of my needy energy this weekend and where that was. And for those that didn't see the video, go back and watch the last one. It's me confessing about reaching out via Bumble, talking to my former partner, and her actually responding for the first time in months. And the smoking weed, God damn, I've got to quit doing that. I'll quit, and then I'll try it again, and I'll quit. And I don't think I give enough credit to how truly addictive it is, at least for me. But it really mucks up my head. It takes, even though I'm quote unquote high, I know it takes me to a lower vibration. My anxiety kicks up something fierce. I start believing I can do things I can't, like as far as maybe rationalize something in my head or something along those lines. And it's just, if this journey ever signifies anything about the path that we should be walking down, it really is a path of discipline. It's a path of cutting out the old, because we cannot go back to those old ways in any way, shape, or form. It's about cultivating new things, healthy things for that matter, and most importantly, letting go of our ex. Holy shit, am I guilty of that one. But based on that, let's just kind of dive into this. So the one thing I dissected from the small interaction with my former partner was, I can see now that an area that she desperately needs to work on in her life. And I want to say, from the masculine perspective, with the ego death and things like that, with how I could interpret this, it just seems like she is an individual that is still stuck in this mindset of demanding forgiveness for other people and demanding they apologize, but not holding herself to the same standards. So if I could kind of qualify it, she broke up with me and said two very hurtful things to me, very hurtful, that just sent me in a spiral. Told me there's guys like me on every street corner. Told me she gave me the breakup, which I never wanted. Like, it was just all this this projection. Oh, and called me troubled. Yeah, I realize that I've got things to work on, as we all do. But she took some shots at my ego there, and I think now that I'm looking back on it, it was to get me to respond so she could justify breaking up with me. And her being the type of unforgiving person is completely forgetting about the things she's said and done the entire relationship, but then leaning on my reaction as the reason why we're not together. And it's just, I see it from a different perspective that it's not true. I took the bait, is what happened. I reacted very poorly, is what happened. And I completely justified in her mind the moment that she wanted to break up with me, why she needed to. And just based on my piss poor reaction and the things I said to her. So, but what I'm getting at here is we're all wondering what the divine masculines are thinking, yada, yada, yada. Well, in this instance, here is one thing. They have to learn the art of forgiveness in order to ever be with us. They really do. We are learning that in every single way. In fact, if you've watched my videos from, the ones back at the beginning when I was super angry, to how they are now, the level of forgiveness I have for so many things, and just that let go and let God take the wheel kind of mentality. And we've been apart for 5 months, and granted, she did reply, which is confusing, but again, it's just maybe for her testing the waters, so to speak, to see how I would react. And I did what I always do: apologized, own my actions. I don't. Beyond that, there's nothing else we can do. It's a matter of completely surrendering, once again having to accept the fact that she's rejected me out of my life, or out of her life. So these are these core childhood wounds that I, as this chaser, have to work with and begin to recultivate and re-examine. So, I'm not going to give this the energy of it was good or bad. It is what it is, and I don't like saying that, but it's a different starting point for me. Have I gone backwards a little bit? I don't know. Who gives a shit? I'm going to screw up during this thing. This is all brand new to me. I am like so many of you, where I completely miss the old relationship, that connection, that energy, that love, all of that. I miss it. I do. Guilty as charged. But at the same time, I have to accept rejection. I have to accept that there's a much bigger purpose for this. And I also have to accept that we just may not end up together, but at the same time, I have to cultivate a new identity, a new lifestyle, a new way of living, a new way of looking at everything. And most importantly, the one thing that I forgot for a lot of years is loving who the hell I am. I have a lot to offer the world. I have a lot to offer somebody. And maybe the problem that most of us run into, or at least I'm running into, is I'm too hyper-focused on this one individual who's rejecting me. And that's just not a healthy way to look at this. You shouldn't be begging for somebody to be in your life. I should not be begging for somebody to be in my life. I should not be begging somebody to forgive me when I've apologized 1,000 times already for it. It really is. It is. I'm going to have to treat myself far different than I ever have before. I have to be that kindness that I've not cultivated. I have to be that forgiveness that I have not cultivated. I have to be that, or not, I shouldn't say have not cultivated, working on cultivating. I have to be everything that this is breaking down in my life. And more importantly, it is a big shot to my ego to be rejected. I talked with my ex-wife about that yesterday. Again, I love our relationship. We talk about our frustrations with dating. We talk about, my experience with my ex. I almost said her name. I don't want to do that. And it's been unique to have a conversation like that with my ex-wife, of all people, because what it tells me is, it made me sick to my stomach even when we broke up to think of her with somebody else. But now it's another day at the office. In fact, she had said she met somebody, and I said, I really, you deserve the best in your life. You do. She's been through hell with relationships after me too. It just hasn't worked out. And she's like I am, where yesterday we were sitting there blaming ourselves, like, God, is it us? Like, are we really this broken? And Maybe in some aspects we are. We both know that we have some great, amazing qualities that we can bring to the table for somebody, but at the same time, we both understand that there's a lot of inner work to do. I mean, she told me she hasn't had sex for 3 years. Just like, shit. I went 2 years without it. And it just, I don't know. The stress of breakups with people and what it does to you from the inside out, it's no joke. It's no joke. And I understand now more than ever why people lose hope on this journey. You know, our souls and our brains, sometimes can only take rejection so much before we sit there and just point the finger at ourselves, like, what am I doing wrong? And what I wasn't realizing or what we're not realizing is nothing. Just because this person rejected you right now should tell you that you're just not a match, you're not a fit. But at the same time, we take it so personally and it hits our ego. And, I've sat here and said, oh, my ego's dead and it's dying. Ah, man, that thing's alive and well. And it's a real friggin' dick sometimes. And it's hard to tame that beast because it is a beast. And much like, and I even connected it yesterday with smoking weed. That's my ego step again. Oh, you need this, it'll be fine. It's like, no, it isn't fine. And even more, no, I don't need it. I don't need it to be high on life. And it freaking wrecks me now in ways that it never did before. So if that's ever a sign that I have to quit that shit, and I do. I've been battling with that one now for years, gone back and forth with it and just can't seem to put it down. I don't know what. It's like the second I feel quote unquote good, I think I'm okay to smoke it. And this weekend should have been a great eye opener as to why I should not. So I just wanted to get back in the saddle, get back to these diary logs. I'm going to do a lot more now to separate from the Twin Flame logo. In fact, I might even change the titles up. I watched a documentary on Netflix about one of the online platforms that has a university, so to speak, and it doesn't look good. So it's not a good representation of the journey we're on at all. What it looks like to me is snake oil salesmen in a way, promising you things that they can't deliver on. So that's where I'm going to be very careful with this, because this is devastating enough to be told that I can help you in a way that's going to bring your partner back when that's something you cannot deliver on, is setting people up for even a worse time. And I will never do that in any way, shape, or form, because I know that struggle of false hope, and there is nothing more devastating once you realize that that hope is false. So I just want you all to know that I'm on this journey, like a lot of you. This is a hell of a breakup. It's the worst breakup I've ever been through in my life. It's something I cannot explain to people from an emotional perspective. I connect to this community because so many of the things that we share are very similar, and this is never to me anymore. Of course I sit there and yearn for her and I wish she were in my life, but the one admission that I have to, and conclusion that I have to come to, I have to get there, is that this journey isn't about them, it's about me, and creating this amazing life without that person. If the story stays true and they come back in and it's a great love that was written in the stars, I guess that's going to be awesome, but at no point in time anymore can that be the focus. And I would be lying to all of you if I haven't said it in the back of my mind. That's always been the focus, is still her, which it's going to be a tough bag to set down, but I'm going to work feverishly on that to do that. And hopefully the changes will be reflected in the videos as they come along, and just in my life and the things that go on in my life. So again, thank you guys for everything. You are very beautiful souls, and I can tell that. What's funny is that we're all kind of cut from the same cloth. Very empathic, very helpful, wanting the best for everybody. There's a couple comments of people on there, that are negative in demeanor, but from a percentage standpoint, and I'm a numbers guy, it is an overwhelming majority of you that are some of the kindest people I've ever come across in my life. And even though I don't quote unquote know you, I can know what you guys are going through, and I sense the energy in your words, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a hell of a community full of a lot of great people, and it just proves that even during our low times like this, we're still here for one another. And fucking A, if the world doesn't need more than that, more of that. So, love you guys.